something for kids.
It'll make them horny.
A nation of horny children running around. My baloney has a first name. I want to fuck your ass. So no, I would say basically the fact that baloney is marketed to children specifically, clearly it doesn't make one.
Sure,
it's a wives'
like,
tale.
you know, it's an
old wives, yes.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a southernism.
You know, there's anyone out there who ate like a pound of bologna and like
died?
Died or got really horny.
I mean, it would depend. Like, I guess there are foodies, like people that sexualize food, and a bologna, as is when you get it, it's a big long cock-like cylinder. You know,
sure, unless you get the cuts.
Cold
more like a puck.
Yeah, yeah, but that's not sexy.
That's not sexy.
What can you do with that? You know, it's with the long thing. Number one, it's dick-looking. What do they call that when I look? Phallic.
Phallic, yeah.
So that excites.
Gotcha.
Number two, if you're a guy and a chick is like, oh, fucking bologna doesn't get me excited, and you're by yourself, you drill a hole in the bologna and fuck it.
Fuck it. You think anyone's ever done that?
Absolutely. Oh my God, yes. That is a no-brainer. Of course.
It's the people without plumbing that are out there.
That's what I can't get my head around. I'm like, what kind of idiot wouldn't have plumbing? But like, I'm a man. I know what kind of idiot will fuck bologna. I've worked with them many times. Let me ask you a question. You can tell me if this is too personal to get into. I talk about fucking a lot and sex. It's true. I've always been a creature of fucking, almost loathsome. I view myself sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I look at myself and wonder if I'm viewed by people who don't enjoy everything I do, like the casual passerby. Gotcha. It's like, look at this. Oh my, this is a morbidly obese filthmonger talking about pussy. I mean, sex. You know. I always I wonder if I'm kind of viewed like that, but that's because I talk about it so much. But I'm interested and fascinated by it, and I think it's interesting. And you never talk about sex.
You mean like on the show? No, I know.
Ever? I mean, in all the years I've known you, we've rarely had a sex.
We've had a few conversations.
Always awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like, have you heard of this thing called sex? I saw a woman's vagina last night. I think it winked at me.
Like, well, Scott, I'm going to have to teach you to get your wiener on. What? You're not a real sexual creature. How often do you fuck?
I am. I think I'm not a sexual creature who talks about it.
You think so? Do you think? Let me ask you this.
But I also
fuck as much as me, but not talk about it? Or you would not? You don't kiss and tell, is that it?
I don't kiss and tell now.
Pussy.
When would I tell?
What do you mean?
I mean, you talk about it so much.
When would you have time? I'm just like, hold on, Scott.
I'm like, oh,
One
I
time I was
guess
jerking off in a bathroom with a fucking porta john.
It also is that thing of like, when you sit down with somebody like, hey, let's talk about sex. You're like, I was in a bathroom of a hotel holding my wife's asshole open while I masturbated. See if I can find something that's a third as interesting.
It just sounds so tawdry when you say it. I remember that as a really beautiful romantic novel.
That's what happens when you make it into a sentence.
That's true, when you reduce it down to like,
and it's a porno
this fucker was holding his wife's cheek open, jerking off, staring at it. And I'm like, wait, you didn't talk about the love. I love doing it. Why? Have you found it uncomfortable to be my friend this long and not be the kiss and tell guy? Or is it that I speak of that so much that you're like, hey.
No, it's not like I ran in the room and I was just like, I want to talk about me fucking. And you were like, no, I'm much better at it. I'm going to make a living off it. In the market, and they have little pieces of string tied around it, and then they're just little live moles with their legs tied to it. Like you walk by and there's just like a rock with with like little live moles like trying to get away. I mean, I walk by.
Well,
like,
wait a second. Are they? The rock is keeping
the
them
rock?
tethered?
Yes, they're tethered to the rock.
They don't have enough strength to pull a string from out of a rock. Because if they don't deserve to live.
Oh, okay. That's the Vietnamese test too.
Yes, that's how I. No, that's weird, man. Like, to me, if they were like
mole's
tied
like
around
that
a
big.
tack or something, I understand they don't have any money for tax, but if they were tied around a stick or something, put a stone on a string, I can get away.
You're not the size of a mole. I'm talking about the moles are tied to it, not Vietnamese people.
I got confused.
Let me have that guy right over there. Doesn't have the strength to move a rock.
She wants me to move a couch this weekend, buddy.
Yeah.
Can you help me out? Free me and don't eat me.
They had a rice bag. It was like those kind of rice bags that are made of like plastic strips.
Mm-hmm.
And there was literally like a creature about that big, trying to gnaw out of it. Like it's all live. You go to the markets and there's like, you'll walk down to the areas where the butchers are, and it's like, it's just, if you get there first thing in the morning, they're killing all the animals right there.
Now, does that make your lady want to fuck?
Strangely, yes.
She's a chef. So the idea of the fresh kill might be like,
No, she
I
would
can make a hell of a sandwich here.
She actually became a vegetarian. She was pretty
Because
freaked
of
out
that?
by it, yeah.
Oh, by seeing all the kills and
I mean, there's literally like, I walked by a table of like, they were literally like, I think I showed you the picture, they were piglets. Like they were dead baby pigs.
Mm-hmm.
They eat everything. They're just like pig ears, but like just, like they just dissect the whole pig and lay it out and then people buy it.
What do they leave? What is fucking
They don't
too
leave
low for
anything.
anybody to take?
They eat everything. All of it.
Really?
Like, I mean, there's just like big pails of like,
You know what? Let's
these
switch,
river bugs.
because then they.
It's the intermission.
I just feel like they've had my back for a while. They've had your back, and maybe it doesn't matter. Suddenly we're off our game.
I know.
You know, I gotta get.
All I can see is I sat down and this gay clown.
That was my favorite. I was crying so hard at Gay Clown before I left. Just Gay Clown. Just that dance. That and I was laughing at like Malcolm was like, he was like, hey man, you got any weed? And I said, yeah, sure. And then he goes, is this all you have for the whole week? And I was like, well, I mean, I could always replenish, I guess. I hadn't thought about it. That's not enough. I said, I'll tell you right now, though, I got a bunch of interviews this week. They're going to go poorly if I run out of weed. And Malcolm goes, yeah, everybody's going to sit down. You're going to be like, hey, man, you got any weed? And they're like, why not? Of course I don't.
Well, I didn't know that was part of my preparation.
This interview's over. Read the book. Yeah. So I got to reload. That's why that part.
Gotcha.
What were we talking about?
No weed interviews.
I just saw the card. It was a weird interviews. What is the little thing? The mole's under the little rock.
They're not under a rock.
The string is tied around them. First off, I'm sorry, take it back. Some motherfucker sits there, ties a string on a mole's foot.
Yeah.
Why don't they just put these fuckers in a jar or something like that? Why do they want them alive, scrambling by one leg? Does that make it more appetizing to the locals?
I think
like,
so.
ooh, the taste of terror.
Yeah.
Look at him struggling for life. Or why not just put them in a little box or something? They get out of the box, so they climbers?
I mean, they might not have like sometimes you just got a rock and some string. Sometimes you got a box, I guess.
It just seems like a lot of work. Or why
I
not just-
agree. I looked at it and I was just like, their feet are so small.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of effort.
And you know that
But you gotta sell everything live.
All right, if you're that guy tying the string on the mole's
Okay.
feet, are you doing it tight so their foot snaps, or are you like, oh, I don't want to do that? Are you gingerly tying it, knowing they're probably going to be eaten in 20 minutes?
I mean, I probably wouldn't try to snap their foot.
But you're not going out of your way to, I'm not saying he's just like, die.
I mean, I'm sure they're not like petting them like this. I want to make our last hours very good. I don't know. I think they just sort of tie it,
Okay.
somewhere in between, gently and breaking their leg.
Do you think there are days where it's just like, homeboy who runs the mole market and shit, tried to get laid the night before, she's like, no way! And he's just like, fuck. And the next morning he's all bitter and tying, breaking legs and shit, taking out on the
Do I
moles.
believe that there's a guy who sells